This time on AskRadRat, we're going to design a new video game. Welcome back to RadRat Video, a channel where I talk about all different kinds of things in the skateboarding world. I show you tricks that I've done. I talk about your favorite old school skaters and retro rippers. I do all kinds of interesting stuff on this series, AskRadRat. And let us answer the first question from Trevor. It says, what is your opinion on skaters taking skate lessons? Does it take away from the classic DIY stance? We all have to start somewhere. Is it cheesy? Is 23 too late to become a pro skater boarder? Yes, to that last part. 23 is definitely too old to start skating now and end up being pro. But let's talk about the rest of your questions. I recently saw on Instagram, there was someone, there's an account that posts like funny stock images of like people holding skateboards that don't skate, and they just make fun of people who do that kind of stuff. And it's usually really funny. And then there was one where a guy falls, and he was a skater, and he just bailed like really badly. It looked like he didn't know what he was doing. And the caption was like, "Oh, he should have watched more Braille Skateboarding Made Simple," or something along those lines. And people in the comments were like, piling on and making fun of it and everything. And it was such a weird thing to me. Like, I am required to learn how to skateboard without asking anybody, or like, if anyone tells me what to do, it doesn't count. Because that's kind of what they're saying, right? Like the comment or the caption was definitely sarcastic, because he explained in the comments, and everyone was agreeing like, oh yeah, that's so lame. All these posers trying to learn how to ollie from Braille and all that stuff. And I didn't even realize that this would be an opinion people would have. Like you said, does it take away from the DIY? Like, you can learn how to ollie from your buddy and still end up having a different skate style. You can still skate your own different kinds of spots. You can still end up being the guy who does more switch, and your buddy does a lot of spin tricks and lines. You do a lot of single tricks, and you do like more flowy type of stuff. Like, learning the technique to do a trick has nothing to do with that, and is such a weird idea. If you need to learn how to do a trick, and you can spend 10 hours in your driveway trying to just figure it out on your own, or you can watch a video that's 10 minutes long and breaks down exactly what it is to do, that makes a lot more sense to me. Like, I make stuff like that. On my old channel, they haven't been as popular here because I think you are a little bit older. My general audience on this channel is a little older than on my old one, but I used to make trick tips, and they were really popular because this was back when streaming video online was a new thing, so no one else was doing it. But really breaking down a trick and talking about it, and like, okay, your balance should be here and all that kind of stuff. If that helps you learn faster and get better at skateboarding, then why not? So like, watching trick tips, I think, is obviously fine. Going to like a skate clinic and having somebody actually walk you through stuff, I think that could be really helpful. There was something I learned last summer. I was trying to do frontside heel flips, and I had done it before, but my buddy said it in a game of skate that we were playing online, and so I had a week or 4 days, or I don't know, however we set it up, to go and land one. So I basically had to relearn the trick. And I realized that if I keep my weight almost over my front foot and I pop and kind of throw the nose down, then I would stay right with it. Where I was typically kind of staying back, and the board is spinning and flipping just fine, but it's landing over here, and then I have to like reach out for it, and then I'm not actually balanced. So like I realized that, and then I watched the footage, and it felt like the nose would be going down, but it wasn't. It was just kind of getting mostly flat. It wasn't even like nose diving at all, but it felt like it. So I learned that trick, that secret to the frontside heel, after skating for like 20 years. Now, what if when I first tried that trick, someone was like, hey, here's how I do it if you keep your weight forward, and then I learned it right then, and I had been doing them for 20 years now, or 15 years or whatever, then I would be ahead of where I'm at now. So it's like, with some people, don't have anyone teach you how to skate. Don't be bad at skateboarding. Good luck. I don't know. I don't get it. If you want help learning how to skate, then seek out help learning how to skate. Like, don't be ridiculous. Of course it's fine. Okay, next question. Meet sexy girls in your city. Can it? No, hold on. Okay. Next one is from No One, who says, oh, No One, I get it. He says, I have a question. Are people better at skating after taking a huge dump? Because they're lighter surely makes tricks easier. If they don't, will the poo inside them weigh them down, making tricks harder to pull off? I actually made a video about this, sort of. Not what you're expecting. I will show you a clip from it. So, yeah, it just seems like an intuitively obvious thing, right? You know, maybe not from a weight perspective per se, but at least from a, like, my stomach is empty and I can bend easier type of way at the very least. One less thing you're thinking about. You're not trying to, like, hold it in as you're skating. Yeah, I don't know if the weight's going to be the biggest issue, but it's not going to help you either. So yeah, definitely I would say that that's going to make skateboarding a lot easier if you do take a dump first. But there's a lot of really, really minor things. So I remember when I was in physics class in high school, we were learning about how like you are falling toward the earth is falling toward you, like your mass is being attracted to the mass of the earth. That's why you don't move. That's how gravity works. And the thing was, if you are in the basement, you are technically falling upward toward the building on top of you. So if you were to have like a highest jump, or, you know, in skateboarding, a highest ollie or longest ollie or whatever contest, in the basement of a skyscraper, technically, gravity would be less because you would fall up a tiny bit. And we're talking like 0.0000001% or something along those lines. But yeah, there's always very minor little tweaks that could help. I would say this one is a fairly major tweak. Yeah, definitely drink your coffee and do your business before you go out. Okay, next question is from Sean, who is developing a skateboarding game. He has some questions. If you were in a skateboarding game, what would your signature tricks be, and who beside you would you include in said game? So I think if I were in a skateboarding game, my role would be as like, I would make a cameo as a news reporter, or I'd be like the Coach Frank guy who teaches you how to ollie in the beginning or something like that. But if I were to be a pro skater in a game, I would probably do the semi-flip, the plasma spin. Now, plasma spin is a trick that you don't see a lot, and I do like it, and I'm decent at it, but it has a spin in it. It's like a frontside big spin that wraps around your foot, sort of like an impossible. And you don't really want a special trick. I'm assuming this is like a Tony Hawk style game. You don't want a special trick that has a spin in it, because then if you try to spin while you do the special trick, you get confused. You know, you either like speed up real fast, or you're spinning this way and then you slow down and then you speed back up. But I can't think of much else, so that would be it. I had one more. Oh, the Casper flip. So if you didn't make Casper flip in the game as a standard trick, in a Tony Hawk style game, you probably wouldn't. Then that would probably be one of them. Been doing that trick for a long time. Casper flips in my normal stance and hospital flip switch. So like one of those, I think, would probably make the cut. A lot of the stuff that I do that's a little bit weird is all freestyle. So like you can't really have a freestyle special trick in a Tony Hawk style game. But yeah, those are the ones I came up with. Now, who would be in my game? So I was thinking of, I didn't want this question to be who are the biggest skaters right now, you know, because that's not any fun. I'm thinking of like, if this was some kind of fan-made game and there were like newer up-and-coming guys that might actually say yes to it, you know? So that was the kind of category I was thinking of when I came up with my list. First is Johnny Geiger. Of course, I really like that guy. Skating's very good. I think that he would probably be good for a fan game, you know? Like, he seems like he would fit in that. He's got a community of people that he interacts with and all that stuff. He's not like that really good pro who is over there somewhere. You know, he seems like a really good guy for it. Jordan Morning. He's a guy who on Instagram does like tray flip into every grind in the world, 540 flip out of, you know, whatever. Like, you've definitely seen his stuff if you've ever gone on Instagram, especially the barracks. The other guy just had a pro part. I'm not sure how to say his name. Aurelien Giraud. I'm sure you've heard of him too. He just had that part that came out. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's amazing. He's got all this crazy like ledge stuff, super tech, but he also does a lot of stairs and rails and stuff like that in that part. Very, very good. Next, I picked Leo Baker, who is formerly Lacey. Although they now go by Leo, I think that would be a good addition to kind of round out the team a little bit. The last guy I picked is Raphael Deten, who is the guy who put out the Street Devil part just recently. He's just on my mind because I watched that video part like 2 days ago. He does like a blunt slide, back foot flip out of it. No slide, front foot flip is his ender. Amazing part, really cool. I could imagine all these guys having a really cool, if it's a Tony Hawk style game, like the unlockable video at the end and stuff like that, I think this would be a pretty cool game. If you do make it, let me know. I definitely want to see it. But that's it for this time. If you've got questions, you can go to radratvideo.com and submit them there. You can also submit them through Patreon, where I will definitely answer them. And make sure you subscribe by tapping my logo on screen. There's some more videos you can check out and stuff like that. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.